My Lords, I would also like to thank the noble Lord Popat, for securing this timely debate. And I, of course, also warmly welcome the noble Minister to her post, and I'm confident the House will benefit greatly from her skills. My Lords, it was in 1974 that a choir of school children sang a song called Come Together at the Commonwealth Games. The song became popular all over the world for its powerful lyrics. Your Lordships may be relieved to hear that I will not attempt to sing the song, but the chorus read as follows. Well, I can sing it if you wish. No, perhaps not. And people, black and white, will come from all parts of the world. We'll get to know them well and hope that in the future our relationships will tell. This 1970s song was full of excitement and expectation that the bond expressed by the Commonwealth Games would not only be in sports, but in other relationships, such as trade. But nearly 25 years later, my Lords, the sad truth is that has not happened. We as a nation have been distracted by the dazzling headlights of the European Union. Leaving the EU through Brexit gives us a real opportunity to expand our trading policy and rekindle our relationships with other nations of the Commonwealth. This is essential because there are compelling facts about the Commonwealth. They are worth emphasising. Trade in goods within the Commonwealth is now worth about £250 billion each year to its members and is projected to be worth nearly £1 trillion by 2020. But according to the latest available figures, only 9%, just 9% of the total UK exports go to the Commonwealth, compared to 44% to the EU. The EU also accounts for 53% of UK imports, compared to a miserly 8% from the Commonwealth. More than a third of Commonwealth members are African nations, including giant economies such as South Africa and Nigeria. Yet UK exports to Africa remain extremely low compared with EU trading. Exports to Germany are more than 5 times that of UK exports to all 18 African Commonwealth nations. But more than the facts, the Commonwealth is a family. It shares a number of benefits, such as the English language, rule of law, education, parliamentary democracy, and Queen Elizabeth as sovereign. With such poor trading figures, is this how we treat family? Surely not. My father came to Britain in the late 1940s after serving as a sergeant in the British 8th Army in the Second World War. As a Jamaican, he was a member of the Commonwealth, and in coming to England, he did not see himself as travelling to foreign parts. He was coming home to the motherland. From the Caribbean, his first stop was LA. Now that sounds glamorous, but LA was in fact Lower Acton in West London. But eventually he found his paradise, a bedsit room off the Paradise Ring Road near the gasworks in Birmingham. His big break came when he was signed to play professional cricket for Warwickshire. But Lords, he was used to tropical rainstorms interrupting play, but on his debut for the county he had the experience of playing cricket during a snowfall, which he'd never seen before. Despite the shock of his hypothermia and mild frostbite, this was the beginning of his very happy 20-year career with the club. Now, his story and that of many immigrants to Britain from the rest of the Commonwealth builds upon that concept of family, which we have to keep emphasising. In Britain, as in other Commonwealth countries, there are Christian and other faith communities that are networks of leadership and expertise. I've been involved with several of them for some decades, but I've yet to see a true partnership between government and the Commonwealth faith groups in addressing the vital issues of trade. In Britain alone, there are over 5,000 black majority churches. Black churches attract thousands of people to each service week by week. The meetings, the people that go to these churches are mainly from Africa and the Caribbean. I've had the honour of being a keynote speaker at many of these churches, including at a major congress in Lagos, Nigeria. There was an audience present there of over 1 million people, and many more watching on cable television. The Vice President of Nigeria is a member of that church, so just imagine the leadership potential there. And just over a year ago, they made me an elder of their worldwide network. Some of the young leaders of that church have been trained through the Warwick Leadership Academy, which I started some years ago. Many of these faith groups are highly skilled professionals. They are part of a wider Commonwealth diaspora, living and working in Britain, and have been waiting in the wings, my lords, for too long to help with issues like trade. Please will the noble minister indicate whether the government has a strategy to embrace this untapped contribution of Commonwealth faith groups. The issue of identity and belonging to the Commonwealth family is vital, but it needs a fresh vision moving forward. And there are opportunities. I certainly agree with Lord Popat that there should be a Commonwealth Bank. We've got a World Bank and a European Bank, so why not a Commonwealth Bank? Why not a Commonwealth University to further promote education across a region where almost half of its people are under 25? This is especially relevant on this very day when the government launched its industrial strategy, which will require, my lords, a highly skilled workforce, including those travelling here from abroad. In this context, why not a Commonwealth passport? Mind you, the government's news release today was somewhat overshadowed by the announcement of an engagement between a young couple, I believe, named Harry and Meghan from Kensington. I'm delighted that Prince Harry is following my example in marrying a beautiful and brilliant American lady, as I did with Lady Taylor. Having worked for the BBC for some years, I've seen from the inside the role that the media does play. The European Union has its own newspaper and Euro News TV channel. So why not a Commonwealth newspaper and Commonwealth TV channel? These outlets would be powerful tools to strengthen the ties within the Commonwealth. We all recognise the visionary leadership of Nelson Mandela. When Mr. Mandela was president of South Africa, he came to London, and I was privileged to have lunch with him. We discussed at length the concept of the United States of Africa. My lords, there are 18 African nations within the Commonwealth, but the UK does not have trade envoys for 10 of those countries. Also, there are no trade envoys for the entire Caribbean Commonwealth region. This is not correct, in my view, in view of the UK's strong ties with the Caribbean. I had the honour some years ago of being invited to open the Jamaican Expo with the Jamaican High Commissioner at Olympia. My theme that day was that Jamaica is open for business, and it still is. My lords, we are all children of the Commonwealth. We may have come over in different ships, but we're all in the same boat now. Trade with Africa and the Commonwealth has for too long been overshadowed by our focus on the European Union. Brexit will not end, but mend our trading links by extending them around the world. Our trade with Africa and the Commonwealth in some parts has to be turned from lacklustre to robust. We are a great trading nation, but we can be even greater. It is not too late to be what we might